today's episode, with hundreds of thousands of victims in less than a month, French officials, including the Prime Minister Edouard Balladur, host representatives of the Rwandan genocidal government. On the same day, thousands of Tutsis are killed in Nyamure Hill, where many had been hiding for close to a week. April 27th, 1994. Massacres perpetrated against Tutsis in the former Butare and Cyangugu prefectures. During the genocide, the French government hosted senior leaders of Hutu power. France is the only country that continued to collaborate with the criminal government, even though they knew the government was carrying out a genocide. On April 27th, 1994, 3 weeks after the beginning of the genocide, two representatives of the criminal government, that's to say, Jérôme Bichamomaka and Jean Bosco Barayagwiza, were hosted in Paris, Champs-Élysées, and Matignon, whereas America and Belgium had refused to give them visas. They held talks with French officials, including the Prime Minister, Edouard Balladur, Foreign Affairs Minister, Alain Juppé, and Bruno Dallaire, who headed the office in charge of Africa at the Office of the President. Barayagwiza, who was the Director of the Administration and Finance in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, as well as one of CDR Executive Committee members, one of the founders of RTLM, a powerful tool for genocide propaganda. Bichamomaka was a dedicated extremist, a member of MDR Power, as well as a Minister of Foreign Affairs in the criminal government. During the United Nations Council meeting, he fiercely said that the genocide against the Tutsi was imperative. Human rights activist groups put pressure on France and expressed a concern over France's hosting of murderous people. France said that they had received Rwandan delegation to continue talks with both sides. However, they later said it was a private visit. France knew very well who they were talking to. They also knew the political support needed by the criminal government to keep the genocide going. Massacres of Tutsis in Gikongo, Gisagara. Mugusa commune was led by Burgomestre Kabaija André. Before becoming Burgomestre, he was working in the Prime Minister's office in 1992 and had replaced Kanyamanza Onesphore. The former Burgomestre Kanyamanza is the one who coordinated all activities related to the planning and execution of the genocide. They also brought soldiers, the one who was called Ajida and was later made the principal of Gikongo High School. He was from Gisenyi and was like the genocide commanding officer. He issued instructions relating to establishment of roadblocks, trained Hutu youth on how they would kill Tutsis, and so on. The director of the project, Rizicole de Butare, a rice processing center called Monsieur Augustin, helped soldiers to receive instructions related to genocide planning and implementation through his phone in the center. Also, genocide planning meetings were held at the factory. The list of Tutsis to be killed was compiled by the Burgomestre Kabaija André in collaboration with former Burgomestres and councillors. It started in the Buhoro sector, which was inhabited by many Burundians. They started slaughtering and eating Tutsi cows. The councillor came to the commune and he was given police officers and the agronomist. He took the Burundians at the commune, and when they arrived, Ajida released them, saying that they had made a mistake of eating cows while their owners are still alive. He told them to kill the owners first and then eat the cows. This happened during the first days of April, between April 8th and 9th, 1994. Tutsis from Rusatira, Ruhasha, Shanda, Mbazi, and Mugusa communes were gathered in the Gikongo commune. More than 25,000 Tutsis were killed on April 27th, 1994. In order to gather them, councillors used loudspeakers and called them to the football ground. After that, soldiers shot at them from the upper side of the ground, while the other killers with traditional weapons surrounded them. Leading killers included Deputy Burgomestre called Sylvestre, together with his father Mugenzi, the former Gikongo councillor Twagirayezu, Kaitare UC, the director of Serrar School, and he was the president of CDR in the commune, brigadier of the commune called Atanaz, and schools inspector called Muramba. Nyamure Hill was located in former Butare Prefecture, Nyazo Commune, Nyamure Sector, Gatare Cell. It is currently in Nyanza District, Muira Sector, Nyamure Cell, Gatare Village. Many Tutsis started to flee to Nyamure Hill on April 20th, 1994, and joined others who had arrived before. They spent a week there till April 27th, 1994, when a major attack came and killed them all. They had taken refuge there because they thought the genocide would not be very severe as it was, and they thought it was a short-term conflict when they would be able to return home. In addition, Many would have fled to Burundi, which shared borders with Nyazo, Muira, and Nongwe communes. They also thought it was easier for them to defend themselves with stones while up on the hill, and that's what happened when they were attacked. Many Tutsis were from Muira, Nyazo, and Rusatira communes, Butare prefecture, and from Kigoma and Nhongwe communes in Gitarama prefecture and elsewhere. Those who could had brought little food, which they shared with many others, and got finished immediately. Due to hunger and thirst, as they were staying on the top of the hill, far from their fields, they started to form small groups to go and fetch nourishment from their closest fields during the night, but it was very scary as the attack started on April 21st, 1994. Later, they started to slaughter and eat their own cows. They arrived on April 20th and on April 21st. Major attacks, mainly composed of many citizens and Interahamwe, started to attack them and kill them. They had machetes, clubs, spears, and many other traditional weapons. Only guns were used after realizing that the Tutsis were defending themselves using stones and few bows and arrows that they had. From April 22nd to 26th, 1994, many attacks kept on coming and more Tutsis were still coming for refuge. More especially on April 25th, 1994. Killers had used other ways and reached Tutsi refugees from the top of Nyamure Hill, and Tutsis started to flee from Nyamure. Once Tutsis started to flee from Nyamure Hill, they ran directly into the path of killers who immediately killed 10 of the Tutsis, while others were killed on their way while they were going to fetch food from the fields. During the time, leaders and Interahamwe continued to lead the attacks and mobilize people to kill. At the forefront, there was Burugumestre of Muira commune called Muhutu Adalbert, Twagiramungu Zakari, MDR president in Nyazo commune, various councillors of Nyazo commune, Murindahabi, the councillor of Nyamure, Murindahabi Izai of Gatonde sector, and Mutabaruka, who was the councillor of Kayanza sector. There were also many trained Interahamwe like Sendima, Munyaneza Gaspar, and others. In addition, Ndahimana, who was the director of Nyamure Health Center, sent a health center car to fetch Interahamwe and police officers from Muira and Nyazo communes. There was also Munyakayanza and Mbarubukeye, teachers at Nyamure Primary School, who played an important role in mobilizing people to kill and lead attacks. More particularly, they participated in the killings of Tutsis who had taken refuge at Rwezamenyo Hill, opposite Nyamure Hill, and students from Nyamure Primary School who believed that they would be protected by their teachers, who in turn killed them. There was also a citizen called Gakuba who used grenades. On April 26, 1994, killers spent a night at the base of the hill, surrounding Tutsi refugees, to make sure that no one would escape and eventually survive. On the morning of April 27, 1994, major attacks were directed to them using guns, grenades, traditional weapons, and they were no longer able to defend themselves. Many soldiers and gendarmes from Nyabisindu sous-prefecture, Nyanza, and others who had spent 2 weeks at Muira commune with Burugumestre Muhutu Adalbert, who were also joined by many others from Nyanza on the same day. There was also police officers from Muira and Nyazo communes, as well as Interahamwe from Bugesera, via Busoro. Soldiers set up a gun at Nyamure Primary School and started to shoot. Tutsis were very afraid due to the high death toll and serious injuries, and the remaining ones descended on the hill, but they could not survive since killers were down waiting for them. After the gunshots, killers climbed the hill to finish off those who were breathing and to take away their belongings. In general, nearly 22,378 Tutsis were killed at Nyamure Hill. Their bodies were left lying around due to their huge numbers. Those who led the attacks included Burugumestre of Muira commune Muhutu Adalbert, who was sentenced to life imprisonment but fled to Democratic Republic of Congo. Twagiramungu Zakari, who was the president of MDR in Nyazo commune. Police officers of Muira commune led by Ruberandinda Claver, Gasanganwa, Bazarama, and Bizoza. Ruzindana Silas, a major businessman in Muira Center and Nyamiyaga, whose car also transported Interahamwe to Nyamure. He was also sentenced to life imprisonment but fled to Congo Brazzaville. Thank you for listening to another episode of Kwibuka Podcast. As always, make sure you leave us a review, sharing what you like about the podcast, and share with others who would be interested.